Hi friends, today I'm painting a little mermaid towel for my granddaughter. It's her birthday and I thought I'd go ahead and share that with you. So I drew out a simple mermaid towel here. As you know, I'm a horrible drawer, but so I drew it previously, and then actually what I'm going to do is, let me find my kneaded eraser, and I want to lighten up the lines just a little bit. So I'm just going to roll over it and lighten those because I'm going to use some metallics and I don't want the pencil lines to show through too much. So these are a great little tool. This is, gosh, I've had this for I don't even know how many years. A little kneaded eraser. They're pretty inexpensive, and I'll look for my link for you if you like. So there you go. I really thought about how I wanted to do this, and I think what I want to do is paint each little scale, mermaid scale, separately, a little bit like the abstract ocean that I did the other day, because I thought that turned out really pretty. The metallics I'm going to be using are, of course, my MAB, and she actually even has one called the Mermaid series, which I purchased a while ago. So that's those, and I'll show you the swatch I did. And then there's the fairy series, because I thought those were kind of fun too. I'm almost, this is Planet series. So those have some really pretty ones in there. I'm telling you guys, I'm obsessed with hers. I'm gonna show you, look how many I have. I've been adding on to these since last year. I absolutely love them. I also kind of like them because they're small and I can just throw them in a bag. She has magnets on the back so they stick. So here is, I did a little swatch sheet. Excuse me. This is the Mermaid series. So as you can see, it's got some really pretty colors in there. So I think I'll be using those. This is the fairy series right here. So they're similar, definitely. I think I like the purple in this one and the pink in that one. Other than that, I kind of like them both. So I'll just play kind of interchangeably with those. The other thing I've got here is my little Daisy Meeden palette, just to mix in. I may use some of my colors from, you know, this is a fantastic beginner's palette from Paul Rubens. It's a sister company, My Lane. Love their paints, mostly because I'm kind of a lazy painter for my everyday painting, and they have so many reds and pinks and blues. I don't have to mix a thing. I also love their shades of green. They have from olive green, sap green, tree green, or lemon green, tons of really great browns. So you don't, I don't have to mix anything. Even their blues are gorgeous. So that's, if I'm going to be using color, that's the color I'm going to use. A lot of times I like putting these metallics over a color or even mixing them with the color. I've also got my water here. Pardon, I was playing with this one, but you know, this is your wash side. So you're going to wash your brush. It's really important to have the rinse side very clean. So I've got that going here. That's my ceramic palette. And then of course I'm using my brushes. I hope they're coming out. I can see little sparkles on them because I've been sitting here playing. I go to bed sometimes and I have those sparkles everywhere on me. Kind of funny. So these are my brushes. There's going to be a set of 5, but look at those fun colors. I'm all about the aesthetics of my art supplies, and so that's one of the reasons why I love that. If you didn't see my Abstract Ocean series, maybe I can link that in here. I'm going to be using kind of the same technique, very similar. So let's go ahead and go. I've got this drawn out. Happy to share this drawing with you. And I'm just going to start painting little individual scales here. And it's going to be a sort of a wash. So if you've watched my tutorials, I'll look for that video and put it down below in the description, along with all the supplies I just told you about. And we're going to be doing like that type of technique. So I'll maybe start with my, let me get my paper towel here, because I'm a dabber. I'm a dabber and a tapper, you guys. I'm constantly dabbing and tapping my brush, so I don't have too much water. So I'm going into my turkey blue in my Meeden palette, tapping, and then using just, I really wanted to, when I designed this brush, I wanted it to be like that long round you see me use a lot from Princeton, because I wanted to be able to get this tiny tip and then a wide belly of the brush too. So wash, rinse, tap off my brush, and now I'll go in and do that push-pull. If you get a little bit of a puddle there, just dry off your brush and pick it up. And now I'm not going to go into the scale right next to it. I'm going to skip one here. So how about if we go into that emerald green? I love this color. So picking up that paint and going down with kind of a darker value at first. So more paint than water. Now wash, rinse my brush, tap it off, and push and pull. And feather that out. Look how pretty that is for scales, by the way. Okay, and then I'm going to go into the next row because I don't want to quite do the scale right next to it. So let's go into maybe that blue again. And at this point, we can even add some of the metallic from, let's see, this one is the Mermaid series. Add that in to my paint. You can either do it this way or you can even do it after. Tap off my brush and go in. Maybe I'll do a couple of those. And then I'm going to go in and wash, rinse my brush kind of quickly, tap it off, and go in and spread that out. And the same here. Every time I feather that out, I tap off my brush. You could even go in and maybe darken just the top a bit while it's wet. Maybe pick up a tiny bit of that turquoise blue. And because it's wet, it's going to kind of spread out. And let's see, how about if we go into a pretty purple? I really want to make this little mermaid colorful and happy. So this is violet in the Meeden palette. I'm telling you guys, this palette is so fantastic. I love their assortment of colors. And I'll go in here and lay that down. Now I am going into that one. I'm not quite touching it though. Then wash, rinse, tap off, and feather that out. There we go. Look how pretty. I think I'm going to use this yellow green. I love their yellow green. I think it's really pretty. And so these are all a little bit in the same color family, greens, blues, but yet that purple is a little bit different. Oh, look how pretty. She's going to love this. I think I'll spread that green out right here. And then wash, rinse, tap off. And feather out. I mean, I am just barely touching with that tip. Then while this is still wet, I'll just dab in. There we go. Look how fun. So I'm going to do all of these like this. Let's do this one here with that light green. Just using the tip of this brush, so light pressure resting my hand. I've seen people who can kind of float and paint. That's not me. I can't do that. My hand isn't steady enough. So I'm always anchoring my hand on my pad of paper here or on my table. And then let's go into this blue. By the way, this is the turkey blue in the Meeden palette. And I am adding in just a touch of the Mermaid, the turquoise here. I really do love this Mermaid palette. It's a lot of fun. Mix that in so it has a touch of pizzazz. And go in here. Maybe another one here. So I'm just trying to avoid going right next to the ones that are still wet. Wash, rinse my brush. You could even use two brushes here so you don't have to keep washing all your paint off your brush. Go in just with the tip of my brush and kind of feather that out a bit. Okay. I think I want to use some of that emerald green. Can't remember. Let's see, which color is that? I think it's that one. Nope. There we go. It's this beautiful emerald green. And let's go in. I think those are dry. And let's maybe do one right here. Now wash and rinse my brush, tap it off so it's pretty thirsty. And pull that out. There you go. Let's see if I can zoom in just a bit so you can see. Let's see. There we go. That might be a little bit helpful. And let's go into this one and add some of that purple. You want to make sure just in the placement of your colors that you're kind of leading the eye. So if I have purple there, I don't want to just leave one purple there. I want to kind of spread it around here. So wash, rinse my brush. Definitely you could use two brushes. And do this one here. Okay, maybe a purple one right there. There we go. Wash, rinse my brush. Feather it out. So you get this really pretty blend. And that did kind of leak over into the other one a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to try a little different. Let's go see what color this is. I think this is the red violet. That's kind of pretty. I mean, I'm really going to get crazy here and use a lot of different colors. So I go in with my strongest value first. Let's go in for a tiny bit more of that. There we go. And maybe here. Now, if you drew this bigger, you wouldn't have to be so detailed. Rinsing my brush and tapping it off, and then that push-pull. but I'm making a card. This is the Strathmore watercolor cards, by the way. I've shared those before. They're really fun. I've used these for several years because I make all of my cards. I don't even know the last time I bought a card. There we go. I think I'll make that one there. The same color. Tapping. See all that paint that came off? I don't want to go into my painting with that, because it would just make a big mess. So I'm tapping off, wash, rinse, dry it off, and then push and pull just with barely the tip of my brush. There we go. Look at those pretty colors. How about if we go in right here with, let's see, what color does it look like? Maybe this blue color. Just bring this around. Already have some of that mix there. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more of the turkey blue. Such a funny name, isn't it? Let's see here. I'm really not letting the ones next to it dry as much as I might normally. And I don't know how to fast forward. So if you would like to, please go right ahead, because I'm going to be painting all of these little scales. It's kind of relaxing for me watching people paint. I rather enjoy it. I don't like watching my own videos of me personally, but I will watch me painting, and it's kind of relaxing. So there you go. There's some more. I am getting a little bleed, but that's all right. Now we've got this green, or I've got this green, so I want to spread that out a tiny bit. I don't want to go next to that yet, so I'm going to bring some of it up here. There we go. And I want to do this one, but that's wet. There we go. Okay, we'll just keep going here. Let's see, what other color could we use in here? We could use like a little bit of a peachy-ish color. So I'm using my rose red, and I just happen to have a flesh type color in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Not really liking it though, to be honest. It's okay. Kind of something different, right? Definitely, if I had two brushes, I would use one to apply and one to kind of do the push-pull. Oh, see, so that's spread in there. It's all right. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay, let's do some more of those blues. See if I can go a little bit faster here. Okay, wash, rinse, tap off. And really the secret with this softening the edge is just barely getting the tip of the brush. And really like a thirsty brush. You don't want to have your brush too wet, because then it just creates kind of a blob. And might tap in at the top here. Some of that turkey blue. There we go. Wash, rinse. Encourage this one to spread just a little bit more. So look at these pretty colors. My granddaughter is going to love this. Let's see, let's go into this one here and maybe use some of that peachy pinky color. And I really just picked that because it happened to be on my palette. So use whatever colors you kind of have. Wash, rinse. Oop, didn't wash and rinse that very well, did I? And just so ever lightly touching into the edge there. Again, you can fast forward through this if you like. Such a fun technique here. I really enjoy this. Maybe go in here, maybe right here, wash, rinse, pull that down. I really like these Strathmore cards too because the envelope has a deckled edge on it, which I think is really pretty. So there you go. Let's go in with maybe a little bit of that purple. This is actually violet in the My Lang palette. There we go. Maybe this one right here. So I'm just painting these shapes. Keep blotting off my brush. This is really tiny, a lot tinier than I usually paint, but I wanted to get it on the card. I'm going to go in with a tiny bit more of that purple paint while it's wet and kind of touch in and let it bleed that wet on wet. Just make sure you're not going in with too much water. And then let's see, what color should we do this one here? I feel like I want to do that kind of yellowy green over here. I love working in zigzags, so kind of zigzag, zigzag. That's kind of just my thing. Okay, wash, rinse. And push and pull there. There we go. Very pretty. Let's go in with that red violet. Grab some of that. Tapping my brush off. Resting my palm of my hand. That's pretty. There we go. Look at that thin line I can get with this brush. I love when I can find a brush that is kind of versatile in that it can get both a thick and a thin line. That's really what I was trying to achieve with these brushes. So I didn't have to stop and kind of switch brushes. I could get the fine line and the thick line. Okay, so right here, let's see, maybe that emerald green. We haven't added that in for a bit. So pick up some of that. There we go. Don't want to go in there because that's wet. Got to be careful right here because those are kind of wet. And maybe this one right here. Okay. Push and pull. As you see, I keep dabbing off my brush. Couldn't remember where I put that one. so I can feather that edge out. And then I can always go back in and kind of darken it up. Oops, that was the wrong green. This green here. There we go. Just kind of add that in. Let it kind of blend and blur. All right, we only got a couple more. Maybe go for that tree green. Like I said, just trying to spread all of the colors around. Let's see, let's go into this one. And I love green and purple. When they're together, I think they're so pretty. I almost feel like I could do those kind of together, kind of next to each other. Just pulling that down. There we go. All right, let's see, what should maybe add some of that pink up in there. Although I want to be careful here because I don't know how dry those are. Maybe this one could be pink too. Wash, rinse my brush. There we go. Now really, if you have time, give each one more time to kind of dry. And let's see, what color in there? We got blue, we got purple, we got pink and green. Let's let that dry for a minute while I think about that. But look how pretty. Isn't that lovely? Let me back out a little bit because I want to do our tail here. So I think I'll do the tail. Let's start with that emerald green. And I'm going to do the same technique. So I'm starting with the dark value, wash, rinse my brush, and then I'm going to go in, keep dabbing my brush off, and pull out that color. So again, this is that wash effect. Let's do the same on the other side. Grab a little bit more of that paint. There we go. And create the same over here. Wash, rinse my brush, dab it off, and push and pull. And you get this beautiful gradient wash. Again, practicing those washes is really important. Let's do a blue, right? I don't want to go next to that because it's wet. So we'll just go right here. I just kind of drew a random design there. Push and pull. There we go. And you could go in there and add a tiny, tiny bit. There's where I love the tip of that brush. Okay, we'll go right here, maybe do that same blue color. I'm being a little bit careful not to completely touch that green because it's a little wet. Wash, rinse my brush. There we go. Get that beautiful washy look. And then how about if we use some of that lime green, yellow green is actually what they're referring to it in the palette. And being careful not to get too close to the wet areas. And go in, push, pull, Dabbing off my brush. Oh, so pretty. She is gonna love this. Do the same on the other side. Let's see here. I feel like I want to do this one here. Okay. And blend, feather that out. So there's that gradient wash. And we just really keep going. I think we need to add some purple in there. What do you think? So let's pick up some of that purple. And let's add that out here. I've got to be really careful not to touch that green. That could be kind of disastrous. Not really, I mean, it would definitely blend in with that. Wash, rinse my brush. So they call that a thirsty brush when your brush is pretty damp. And I'm just going to tap in at the tip of that and let that, there we go. Maybe blend these together a bit. And now let's go into that one before it completely dries. Trying to avoid, I love green and purple when they're next to each other because they're very much complementary colors. If I had my color wheel here, let me show you. Whoops.
You all right?
Yes, I'm okay. Okay, that's one of those bloopers, you guys, that I don't know how to edit out, but I just dumped over my stool. Okay, so there's that purple. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Let's see. What color should we do in here? Maybe that pink. Let's grab some of that. Oh, you know what? How about this pink? There we go. Or I think it was this one we used actually. And we're just about done here. Thirsty brush. So this is all washes. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I'm getting a bit of a back run there into my other color. So I just took that thirsty brush again and pick that up. And then I'm going to add that in here. And push and pull, creating that wash. There we go. And we got a couple more little spots. Let's see, how about we do maybe our pink. Get a little bit more pink in there. Actually, we could do that bright. I think I want to do that bright turquoise. Turkey blue, as they call it. There we go. Tapping off. Hopefully this is dry. It's pretty warm here, so it surprises me how long the paint stays wet. Okay, tap off. Just about done here. Might just add in a touch of that wet on wet. Again, this is why learning how to do these washes is so important. Because this is like a wash. It's a very small wash. And I'm kind of, you know, referring to it as that push and pull, but it's basically a wash, a gradiated wash. So get good at those. It'll really be helpful for you. Okay, so we got a couple colors here. I feel like I want to darken this a bit. So I'm just glazing over that a tiny bit. Now what is happening, it's mixing in with that green, so I'll pick that up. There we go. So see how it blended in there? So I'm wiping off my brush and I'm just gonna lift that out. Won't lift it out completely, but it'll get a lot of it out. But I'm really not worried about it because mermaids are pretty colorful. All right, we're almost done. Let's see what we want here. How about a little bit of, maybe that violet pink. I'm gonna go back and finish these. You could even make these different just by using a different value. So using, it may be the same color next to it, but because I'm making this a little bit darker in color, it's going to look different. So meaning darker in value, that I'm using more like 80% pigment, 20% water. It's a darker mix. It's a darker value. So there we go. Okay, I think we're about done with that. If you have some good calligraphy skills, you could really put something cute here. Let's see, we got a couple more spaces here. What color should we do those? I don't think we used that color. That one I kind of mixed on my palette there. Do that here. Wash, rinse my brush. And pull that out. And this one here. There we go. So pretty. Let's see what colors we're missing for right here. We could do that one, maybe. I'd really like this to be a little bit darker too, actually. So let's just go back and darken that a bit. There we go. So you can layer and keep glazing over, meaning you're allowing the paint to dry and then you put a second glaze on it to just darken it a bit, because we can always get darker. So we want to go light to darkest. Look how pretty that is. Maybe we could do that one purple too. Let's go ahead and do that one purple. Dry some of that off. Don't want too much water here. I'm being a little careful because I'm not sure if the paint next to it is still kind of wet. So as you notice, I keep dabbing my brush off a lot. And now once that dries, I can always go back in and add a little bit more. So now the fun part, let's add in some metallics here. This is my favorite. We have some of the blue in there, but let's add in some of that. Let me look at my, I think I want this color here. Look how pretty. So I think I want to add in some of that and that, which would be these two. I kind of went into that one, but this one is the one I think I want. And I'm not going in with necessarily the tip of my brush. I'm loading the belly of the brush, the mid part of the brush, but not up to the ferrule, because once you get paint inside the ferrule, you can really ruin your paints. And then I'm just going to go in and color some of these in with that metallic. So pretty. Maybe this one here. Again, watching where you're putting it, so you're kind of leading the eye around. You're pulling the eye around. Now let's see if we can go in here, and I'm just going to put some over that paint that we have there. Pick up a little bit more of that and lay it down. Ooh, look how pretty. Oh my gosh, my granddaughter's gonna love that. Excuse me. Let's see, let's go with that blue color. There we go. Really loading my brush up with it. Just tapping it off a bit. And ooh, look how pretty. Oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Look at that. Look at that sparkle. I think this is my prettiest. I love the turquoise metallics. I think they're so pretty. Just giving those all kind of a coat. Oh my gosh, you guys, she is gonna love this card. Let's try some of the green. Excuse me, gosh. Try that green. And we'll just put a little coat. Now, I could have mixed this with the paint as well beforehand. But I always like doing a glaze for some reason. Yeah, that's pretty. As you already know, I can't get enough of these metallics for sure. I could have gone over that with the yellow as well. That might be pretty. Let's see what that yellow, the yellow metallic was fairly light, but it might be pretty over some of those greens. So let's give that a try. Look at how pretty those sparkles are. I love it because sometimes I don't rinse it all the way out of my brush, and later I'll go to use it, my brush, and I'll notice there's little sprinkles in there. I love that. Always ends up all over my hands too. Not complaining here. Okay, there we go. Look how beautiful, you guys. Oh my gosh, look at that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, MAB Metalics. I absolutely love those. I mean, what a simple little painting. Whoops. That came out so pretty. I'm going to actually write on here, happy birthday to my little granddaughter, but I'm not going to show you that because I have pretty much, I'd say, the all-time worst calligraphy skills. So I won't share that part with you because I don't think you'd be too impressed. Had to add a little bit more shimmer here. This is what I do, you guys. I want to go in and just shimmer everything, including myself sometimes. Oh my gosh, look. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I can't get enough of that sparkle. Okay, I swear this is my last little ad. I feel like I want to shimmer up some of those purples. I can't stand it. Oh my gosh. And you know what? Honestly, my granddaughter, the more shine and shimmer, she's gonna love it. She kind of follows Grandma's suit in that. But you could have stopped a while ago if you don't want all that shimmer. And just leave it with whatever paints that you have. This is just what I choose. Because I'm a little nutty and I'm a little obsessed. Oh my God, it makes me so happy. I love seeing shimmer. There we go. Oh my gosh, I just can't stand it, seriously. Okay, I'm really gonna stop now. Oh, I'm so excited for her to open this card. All right, well, thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. If you are interested in these brushes, I will put the link. You can get a little sneak peek. There's 5 of them. I can't wait to be able to release them. I will get my link for these wonderful cards. I love them. I use them all the time. And as always, I'm always sharing the My Lang palette and my MAB series. They're absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I have tons of these. I'm pretty obsessed with them. And happy painting. Thanks for being here with me, everyone. I'll see you soon.